Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back. So let's get right into it. So first of all, what I want to do for this, I think this is the 8th or 9th video. I usually don't keep too much track of the numbers, but I think what I want to do is I want to remove the difficulty setting here, because I noticed I thought about something. There's no point having a difficulty option when the game gets difficult as you play it. So maybe if you play like 5 levels, then the next 5 levels will be different from the previous one, and so on and so forth. So there's no point in having a difficulty option. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just delete it. I think this is how we're going to be making changes to the game as we think of more better solutions to any feature that we add to it. So let's go to our difficulty container and we just delete it because there's no point in having that, and let's save it. Good. So now that we have that out of the way, let's now go to our next feature that we want to add. So we want to add, as we discussed last week, we want to add our high score. So we want a way that we can see what our current high score is in the options menu, at least for now. So first of all, we want a way that we can go back to the options menu from the main game here. So that's very simple. We just add a button. This is just a feature that we'll add for now, so later we'll add a more effective way of doing this. So we just click on our main, add a button, just name this button back, then increase the size to, let's say, 40. Good. So we have a back button now. Then as usual, we'll add our anon pressed to the back button, connect it. Then we will just say, when this button is pressed, I want you to go back to the let's say the main menu. So get tree, change scene to file, go to the main menu, and we save it. So when we play it and we go back, it takes us here. Then we can exit. Okay, that's good. So now let's focus on our high score. Definitely we want our high score to show up in the options menu here. So as usual, we'll have a horizontal we would have a horizontal box container that would hold both labels. So let's just look for our H box. We'll create that, and inside, let's rename it actually to our high score container. Good. Then inside this high score container, we'll add 2 labels, 1 and Control D, 2. So we'll call this the high score label, and this would be the high score value. Good. So let's name this to high score, which would be a size of 40, and the value also the same thing too, would be the size of 40. Now we don't want to set anything here, since the value will be set dynamically based on what we have here in the score. Good. So let's save it. Now let's use our move tool here and move it down here. So we have high score. Then save it. Good. Now that we're done with that, the next thing would be the code. So now we want to connect this options menu to this main menu. Now there are 2 things that we can do. We can either go to our options menu script here, then make a connection, or let's say, yes, make a connection to the main menu, then use that variable to create the code, or we can create a script and make that script to be a global script. So a global script means that everybody can access it. So we go to our scripts. Let's use that method because we are still going to have other things that we want the game to be able to access. We want to be able to save our game, to be able to get different data from different points. So we would need this, and then we want to be able to like minimize the game, pause it, and all these other things. So a global script is very important for that. So let's just go to our script here, create new script. As usual, we'll just call it global. Let's say global data. Then we want to see a script global, and we create. Good. So this is here, global data. As you can see, it's empty and everything is good. So we would create a variable called score, and that score will be equals to 0 initially. That is all that we want to hold in this global data for now. Then right now it's just a script, so now let's make it to be global, meaning everybody can access it. So we go to our project settings, auto load, then we click here, scripts and global. Good. Open. Then we add it. So now this script has become global. So each time that we close our Godot and we open our app, this is the first thing that will load before all other things load. So we close it and save. So now we can access this script anywhere we want. So next we go to our main here, and we go to the place that deals with our score, which should be somewhere here. Where is it? Yeah, so increase score. Yeah, so we don't really need to do it for our decrease score because we don't need to know the lowest score. At least that's what I think for now. But we need to always know our high score. So as the high score changes, as our score changes, the high score changes. So we just come here and we type a very, very simple script. If the score is greater than, then we have to make a reference to the score that is available in the global data. So global data dots, I think it's called score. Yeah, if it's higher than that, then I want the global data dot score to be equal to score. That's all. So as you can see, this variable named global data is not really what we named our script here. If you go to project settings, auto load, this is the name that you're going to use here, global data, not this one. So good. Now that we have that, we now have to tell it that it should change the value of, it should change the high score value to the value of the score here, and we're going to do that in our options menu. So in order to do that, as usual, we would create a new function, call it update high score, and this function will be called each time the high score is, well, higher than the current high score. So let's make a reference to our high score value, which is high score. Yeah, here you go, high score value. Then take the text and it will be equal to the, convert it to a string, the global data dot high score. Oh, it's actually global data dot score. Good. And we save it. Then we bring our function here to the ready function. So each time the game starts, it should check this first, update the high score before it does anything else. And we save it. Okay, just for clarity's sake, because sometimes we can confuse this score with the actual score that is here. So let's go to our global data script and change it from score to high score. High score, then we save it. Come here. Where's the script? No, here. Yeah, so change here to high score. Save it. Then go to our main and change it to high score. then high score. Good. Then save it. Good. So now when we go, let's click from our main menu here. Let's play it and see. So if we open our main menu, we go to options, we'll see that currently our high score is 0. Let's go back. Let's start the game. Box, circle, triangle, star. Box, circle, triangle, star. Okay, so that is 1, star, triangle, box, circle. So star, triangle, box, circle. That is 2. So now if we go back to our options, we will see that our current high score is 2. So now we have successfully transferred data from one scene to another, and also keeping that data in the game. But now I think if we exit the game and play it again, it would go back to 0, which is not what we want. So hopefully, I think in the next video we will try to, well, I guess we'll focus on that later, but in the next video we will try to make some aesthetic changes and maybe try to add in some more buttons and some more scenes.